Hey, good afternoon, folks. Todd with Spinatos. Today we're going to introduce you to our broccoli crust pizza and our broccoli crust. The recipes we're going to introduce you today use our broccoli crust. So we're going to make a grilled cheese sandwich, we're going to make a Parmesan breadstick, and then we're going to use our broccoli crust to make a chip so that you can dip in hummus. So let's get started. So of course today we're definitely going to cook one of our favorite pizzas, which is our Primavera pizza. And then we talked about hummus. And that'll be used with our broccoli crust to make chips. And then for our grilled cheese, we have Swiss and turkey, along with Roma tomatoes. And then for our breadstick, we're going to use shredded Parmesan cheese. So today, I really want to talk about the science behind cooking pizza, because it truly is rocket science. Now, super important for any frozen pizza is the fact you want to cook it from a frozen state. And especially for a plant-powered pizza like our broccoli crust, super important because it's full of moisture. And what happens when the pizza starts to thaw, all that moisture from the vegetables start to seep into the crust. And what happens, it starts to break apart the crust because our broccoli crust is made with 100% broccoli, aged cheddar cheese, and brown rice flour. So again, all wet ingredients, and the more moisture you put into that, moisture is a killer for frozen pizza. Folks, this is really exciting. Do you know what the 3 C's of a perfect Spinatos pizza are? Crispy, crunchy, and of course, crust. So now let's put our pizza on our preheated pan in the oven. And of course, safety first. So we've been talking about the science of cooking pizza. And in the first few minutes, you can tell you're only thawing the pizza, you're not cooking it. Well, now let's continue to talk about the science of cooking pizza and safety first, kids. So what we're gonna do is take a look at where we are in the cooking process, and we're about 10 minutes in, and the real art in cooking pizza is the heat comes over the top of the pizza and cooks the pizza from the outside in. And most consumers would say, this pizza's done. And in fact, it's not. Because what's happening is, again, cooking from the outside in, the center of that pizza is still a little bit jiggly. And I'll show you here. Still a little bit jiggly there in the middle. And so what we want to do is let that cook for about 2 more minutes and get the outside of the crust golden brown. And those cheese points will be nice and brown as well. So it just needs just a few more minutes. Let's talk about the 3 C's and the perfect cook to a Spinatos pizza. You can see that around the crust, it's brown, it's golden brown, maybe a little even darker than golden brown. And that's great because what that's doing is it's cooking the pizza from the outside in, again, which most consumers cook it to where the pizza is still jiggly in the middle. We want toast points all over the cheese. And what's really, really important is when you're cooking a pizza is that the sauce gets hot enough to create a bubbling effect, which helps the cheese start to dance, little dancing moves. And what that does is, what happens when you dance? You get a little loose, and so the butter fat releases from the cheese and melts into the sauce. Man, you can just taste it. And so that's when you know the pizza is fully cooked, when you've got those nice brown toast points, as you can see right here in the center of the pizza. So now let's cut this. But before I do, remember, this is a rolling cutting knife. It's not a knife. So no chopping, no nothing, just slide right on through the pizza. Ready? I'm gonna give it a try. That's good. So let's talk about the images that we get from our consumers. And we love getting pictures of our pizza from our consumers, but a lot of times we notice it's undercooked, and we want you to have the perfect pizza and be a pizza cooking connoisseur. So again, pizza cooks from the outside in, okay, up over the top. And most consumers would see this pizza and go, oh, it's starting to brown here. It's good and ready to go. But if you notice, there are no cheese toast points, so that sauce didn't get nice and hot. Remember the dancing to release that butter fat to get those toast points. And the inside of that pizza is still a little bit jiggly there. So that is not the perfect Spinato's broccoli crust pizza. That one is. So when you're ready to send me those images, I'm looking forward to getting them. So now we're going to talk about our grilled cheese recipe. Again, using our broccoli crust, Swiss cheese, sliced turkey, Roma tomatoes, olive oil, and then you're going to use our vodka cream pasta sauce as a dipping sauce. So during this pandemic, I know you're all working out from home and feeling really good about yourself, but sometimes these jars can be a little finicky. So let's get this open. Nice little pop, crack it open, and you're ready to pour in. So first thing we're going to do is go ahead and season the top of our crust. And that's very important because you want the ingredients to adhere to themselves. So if you like olive oil, use a truckload. But like myself, you just want a little bit so all the ingredients stick together. Next, important, we're going to cut this in half. Use a knife, use a pizza cutter, whatever you feel like doing. Then we're going to add 3 slices of Swiss cheese. 1 and 2. Then we're going to add our turkey. Placing them so that you're covering the whole half side here. Then we're going to slice our tomatoes. Going to take a little bit off the top there, and then we're going to get 4 nice even slices. Now for you at home, you can see that I don't have my fingers out because I like to keep them. And so if you're going to cut yourself, you might just cut a knuckle off or something like that. It's just skin, it's okay. And so we got some nice slices of tomato. Now, if you want to get real risky, you could throw some oregano on there or something like that, but we're going to dip it into our vodka cream sauce. And so since this is a grilled cheese, it's got to be cheesy, kind of like your host. And then we're going to take the other half, pull it over the top, and then we're going to slice that in half. And of course, if you're a hearty eater like myself, you're going to keep it just like this, or again, you can cut it into different slices, but I would recommend that after you cook it. So let's get it in the pan. So now let's get the sauce off the stove before we pull our toasty off, because it's going to be real hot. And I got one for you. Why did the hipster burn his mouth on the sauce? No? Because he ate it before it was cool. So funny. So now that we've got it onto our cutting board, like I said earlier, if you're like me, I'm eating this just the way it is. But for you moms that have kids at home, I would suggest getting your knife, cutting it into another quarter. Go ahead and plate it up. And then I'm not plating this one because I'm eating it. Our decadent vodka cream sauce. Now that's a great broccoli crust toasty. So let's introduce you to our next recipe. Parmesan cheesy broccoli crust breadsticks. Man, that sounds good. Afternoon snack or fancy happy hour appetizer? The answer's simple. It's both. And of course, you could always use it to dip in with one of our pasta sauces as well. But let's get started. You're going to really want to coat this with some extra virgin olive oil to get that cheese to really adhere to this broccoli crust. And if you're like me, I love Parmesan cheese, so let's just coat this thing real nice. Let's go back to my pizza making days back in the restaurants. Spinato's Pizzerias have been around for 45 years in Phoenix, Arizona. And that's where I learned how to make all these pizzas. You could say I'm a kind of a pizza connoisseur. I've probably made over 10,000 pizzas in my lifetime with Spinato's, but right now we're making breadsticks. Little added feature, let's add a little pepper. And some coarse sea salt with oregano. I love my oregano. So we're going to put it on our preheated pan. Remember, the pan acts as a conduit to get that crust real crispy. And remember, you're going to cook this crust from frozen because moisture is not your friend when it comes to frozen pizza. Let's talk a little bit about Spinato's and how we arrived here today. 1974, we opened up our first pizzeria in Tempe, Arizona. And from there, we just gained this following of guests that just absolutely loved our flavors, loved our traditions, loved our recipes. And to this date, 45 years later, we're still using the same tomato and the same pizza sauce recipe in our restaurants as we do on our pizzas. And several years ago, we had guests coming into our restaurants and tell us, we can't eat your pizza anymore. We've got this thing called gluten intolerance or celiac disease. And as good, community-loving entrepreneurs, we didn't want to lose them as guests. And so we created our first gluten-free pizza. And let me tell you, it was a disaster. It fell apart in our pizza ovens. And when we finally got one to the table, our guests loved it. They would come up to us, hug us, crying, saying, thank you so much. My partner absolutely loves this pizza. And as those guests moved away from our community, they asked us, let's get our pizza. Let's get your pizza. And we would send them overnight. But we decided to get into the retail business at the urging of our guests. And we started with a traditional gluten-free pizza. So your traditional non-wheat flours and rice and brown rice flours. And that evolved over time. As our food tribes have evolved, we realized we needed to do something different. And the crust is our canvas. And we decided we need to do and move into the plant-powered element of making pizza. And that's how we arrived at broccoli crust. It's more nutritious than cauliflower. And what do I mean by that? It's got 50% more protein. It's got 100% more vitamin A, 50% more vitamin C, and 85% more vitamin K than cauliflower. And when we talk about broccoli crust pizza versus cauliflower pizza, it's got 25% more protein per serving. And we all need a little bit more protein these days. So let's talk about the elements of cooking a pizza. As we talked earlier in the show, we talked about the science of cooking pizza. And manufacturers go to extreme lengths to test their products in different cooking apparatuses. And we chose 3. All right, it's your traditional oven that you can cook in at home, either convention or conventional. And then we also added a cool feature, the barbecue grill. Now, this is a fantastic way to get outside, spend time with the family, either at the pool, at the park, or now the football season's up and running, tailgating. So take a look at the back of the box and read the cooking instructions. It's got everything you know to make the 3 C's of a perfect Spinato's broccoli crust pizza. Now, I can just hear that gooey, just deliciousness just bubbling away. Bubble, bubble, bubble. Let's get this deliciousness onto the table. Wow. I've even impressed myself. Now, again, if you recall, I told you a great hipster joke earlier. And the same thing applies here. You want to let this set for about 2 minutes, but as you saw, I let a little air get in there just so that as it settles down and cools, and the air, again, talking the science of pizza, air getting to the crust is great after you've cooked it, because it's really going to add that element of crispiness. Again, remember, what did we say? The 3 C's to a perfect pizza, but now it's the 3 C's to a perfect cheesy breadstick. Voila. Now, as you can see, it's starting to firm up really well. That's nice. That looks good. Again, this is our Parmesan cheesy broccoli crust breadstick, right? Not a pizza. So we want to serve it like a breadstick. Super simple. We'll do about 4 or 5 cuts on this thing. Again, this is not a knife. We're going to roll right through it. Now let's get it ready to serve. Oh man, look at those toast points coming out now. Nice and crispy. That looks delicious. Can't wait to dig in. Now again, great as a snack, great as a happy hour appetizer, easy to eat while you have your favorite beverage in your hand. And look, vodka cream sauce. Let's give it a try. Gooey, cheesy, mouth-watering, delicious. We're going to use our broccoli crust to make a chip so that you can dip in hummus. You don't really want to coat this with some extra virgin olive oil. And then we're going to slice that. So we've got our olive oil nice and hot, but remember, not too hot because you can burn olive oil. We've got our chips in the pan, again, using our broccoli crust, and you can just hear that sizzle. This takes about 5 minutes, and while it's sizzling there, go ahead and add some of your salt to it. Again, people like some salty chips. If you don't, that's okay too. Add a little sea salt there. We're going to get those nice and toasty. And again, just like all of our crusts and our pizzas, once you pull this off the pan, you're going to want to let it set for 2 minutes because you want to get that air to there and get it nice and crispy because everybody likes a nice crispy chip to dip into their hummus. All right, let's get this plated. Again, very important that we let the air get to these chips. Let it sit for 2 minutes, and we've gotten that so far, so let's get this plated. Now, if you haven't had an opportunity to visit our virtual booth, as we live in this virtual world, you can go to our booth, read a little bit about who we are a little bit more, and you can also check out our awesome specials on our pasta sauce, that being our tomato basil, and then our pizzas, and then our broccoli crust. So I'm looking forward to giving this a good try here. Great, again, great snack, great appetizer. And the real important thing that I want to bring to your attention today is we used very little ingredients. We used tomatoes, we used turkey, we used 2 different cheeses, but all things that you can find in your home. So have fun with it. Our crust, it's great for the culinary imagination. You can do whatever it is that you want with it. You can make a pizza, you can use our sauce on that. You can do whatever you want. It's fun, enjoy it, have a good time, involve the family, involve the kids. Again, this is a great time and a great place, the kitchen, to bring everything together. And September is Family Meals Initiative Month. And grocery stores all around the country put specials together, events and things like that to bring the family together to go out and get the perfect ingredients for the perfect meal. So let's give these chips a try. Chickpea hummus and broccoli. What better combination? Man, the tough job cleaning up. Oh, you're still here. Well, I appreciate you hanging around and thanks for joining us today. I want you to remember the 3 C's of cooking Spinato's pizza: crispy, crunchy, and the crust. Again, super important to make the perfect pizza and make you a perfect pizza connoisseur. I had a lot of fun today cooking all these unique recipes, and I know you can do it too at home and with your families. Visit us at our website, spinatos.com. Also visit our booth because we've got some really good specials for you today, and look forward to getting all of those pictures and videos of you and your family having fun with our products. Enjoy the day and be well.
Well, hello, everybody. Appreciate you watching our video on how to cook the perfect 3 C's in a Spinato's broccoli crust pizza. Hope you enjoyed that. I had so much fun making that. We just love playing around with our crust, cooking our pizzas, enjoying our products. with our friends and family, and hope you enjoyed that video. So I'm available for questions, and please fire away. We had a question about if we're going to introduce a dairy-free pizza. And in fact, we are in the production processes of creating that recipe, trying some different non-dairy cheeses as well as pizzas without cheese. So that is in the works. Well, it depends on what part of the country you're on. The question is, which grocery stores are you in? And you can find that on our locator page on our website, spinatos.com. But we are in all parts of the country. So if you go there, you'll be able to find a location. If not, you can find us on Shopify on our website, as well as Amazon. Just got a question about a pizza stone. We have had some success with pizza stones, but you got to get it really, really hot in the beginning. So when you're preheating that, make sure that you get it up to the 475 degrees. Pizza stones tend to trap in the air underneath it versus using a pan as the conduit. So a sheet pan, pizza pan with a perforation. You saw that I used a metal pizza cooking sheet there that was both a cookie sheet and then a rack. And that rack actually helps that air get in and surround that pizza. So again, you can get the 3 C's of the perfect Spinatos broccoli crust pizza: crispy, crunchy, and of course, crust. I got a question: is our facility 100% gluten-free? Yes, it is. It is nut-free as well. I'm going to scroll up because I wasn't able to see the chat as I was playing that video. So I'm going to see if there's any questions up top before I move back down. A question about, do you sell your crust in a large pack? Currently, right now, it is not in bulk. It is just a single pack crust that you can find on our website and sit there. I got a question about the pasta sauces. If I purchase, how many come in that pack? It is a 6-pack of pasta sauce, and it's all the same flavor. So it's either our marinara sauce, our vodka cream sauce, or our tomato basil sauce. And just a fun fact for you, the second most ordered sauce on our pizza in the restaurants is our vodka cream sauce because it's so decadent and savory. We do ship, got a question about, do you ship pizzas to Tucson? Absolutely. Again, visit our website to order or through Amazon. Currently, we question, do you sell pizza sauce? We do not sell our pizza sauce currently. A side note on that pizza sauce, if you use our tomato basil sauce, that is the closest sweetness to our actual pizza sauce. So the tomato basil sauce, from a sweetness standpoint, which kids absolutely love, is a very close second to the sweetness in our pizza sauce. Question about selling into Sprouts. Absolutely, we'd love to get back into Sprouts one of these days. But in Northern California, hopefully soon in Molly Stone's, and Nugget Market, currently talking with them. A question about our restaurants and how we separate our traditional pizzas from our gluten-free pizzas. It's actually cooked on a separate pan. And when we do our testing in our restaurants, we do have a separate dough room that keeps the flour particulates within the restaurant down to 200 parts per million, which is well below standard. And they are served on separate pizza pans with identifying parchment paper underneath. We also have gluten-free desserts, gluten-free breadsticks, gluten-free sandwiches. So we have an entire menu dedicated to gluten-free in our restaurants. Question about how the pizzas are packed so they don't spoil in shipping. We pack them in a eco-friendly cooler on dry ice, and we're able to ship that anywhere in the country within 2 days. And it's a minimum of 4 pizzas per order. Question about the recipes I created. They're not currently posted on our website, but we can definitely send those out if you contact us. Lots of good questions. I appreciate the interaction here. Again, another question about ordering the pasta sauce. It does come in a 6-pack case, and then it has peanuts to secure around an outer case pack box. We haven't had any breakage that I know of in the last year. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Somebody's on night now ordering. Very nice. Thank you. Somebody again concerned about the pizzas being cooked in our pizza ovens. They are absolutely safe and flour free. Currently right now, we had a question about low sodium options. It is a recipe that we're looking at. We do have a sensitive pizza sauce, but currently that is not on any of our current offerings. We do have some potential to do that. We are looking at reducing some sugar and some sodium, but the pizza sauce that we currently put on our pizza is the same pizza sauce we use in our restaurants. Well, if there are no more questions, again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining today. We had over 750 participants, which was fantastic. Really appreciate everybody jumping on and learning about the fun science of cooking pizza, the nutritional value of broccoli versus cauliflower, and just having a really good time today. Again, enjoyed the time with you. Enjoy the rest of the show. The Nourish Festival is a fantastic way to find new, innovative items for your food tribes, for your families, and really hope you enjoy yourselves over the next couple days. You all have a wonderful day.